1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Game day is underway. This is the Terminix Kickoff Show on 1010XL, presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting. Here's Hayes Carline.
Defeated the Chargers last night, so the pressure remains on the Jaguars to hold serve. For the Colts, that means they are out. The Colts season is over in terms of making the postseason, from 7-1 to now 8-7 and out. The Indianapolis Colts have completely collapsed. It's been a theme in this division. We've seen the Titans do it a few years ago, which opened the door up for the Jaguars to win the South. The Jaguars collapsed, and that allowed Houston to win the division a couple years ago. And I don't think this is necessarily the Colts collapsed, which then allowed a bad team to back in or a mediocre team to back in. I think in this case, the South was just really good this year, and the Jaguars and the Texans have excellent ball clubs and just ran down the Colts, but still a collapse for Indianapolis. But they also a big part of that was the surge of Houston and Jacksonville. So as you look at it, the Jaguars still fighting for seeding as well. So there's plenty at stake as we get to the penultimate game of the regular season. One big storyline this week has been the Pro Bowl and the lack of attention in terms of Jaguars recognition. It kind of feeds into the whole motivation tactic Liam Cohen has been using. Small market. No one respects us. No one's ever going to respect us. We're never going to get that. And the Pro Bowl came out, long snapper Ross Matizik, the only Jaguar nominee. There were some alternates. Devin Lloyd, as we mentioned. Parker Washington is a returner. So you'll hear from both of those players later in the show. Trevor Lawrence is an alternate. Travis Etienne is an alternate. But only one solidified Pro Bowler as of now, and that is the long snapper. Liam Cohen met with reporters on Wednesday and talked about what he thought of the Pro Bowl snubs.
Look, we can't control those decisions, and we have a lot of players that very prideful and have done some really cool things, right? And to be 11-4 and have one, that's just speaks volumes.
Absolutely speaks volumes. Speaking of speaking volumes, Dylan Denmark, good morning to you. How are you doing? Did you have a Merry Christmas?
I did. It was a nice time with family. Hope you had one good Merry Christmas as well.
Absolutely. What did you think of the Pro Bowl?
It's funny, you talk about that. Not really a surprise. I kind of expected one of the specialists to get in, and everybody else is kind of be like, I don't know if you're going to get in or not, just because of the fan vote. You're not going to get a lot of you're not going to get a lot of love there if you're Jacksonville.
Yeah, I also think it didn't help that they're playing their best now in these last 6 weeks. So the first half of the season, they were fine, but they were sort of more mediocre than what they've been over these last 6 weeks. I mean, this last 6 weeks, we've talked about it all week on the Frangi Show. I'm sure you guys have talked about it on Jaguars Today. The Jaguars over this 6-game win streak, in terms of point differential, they're plus 113. It's the best in franchise history. and it's the best of any team in 2025. So the football the Jaguars are playing, the dominant football the Jaguars are currently playing, no one else has touched it. No one. The Rams, Seahawks, all these teams, no one's had this kind of a streak in terms of domination, and we'll see if it can continue today. Part of this streak is the first matchup that the Jaguars had against the Indianapolis Colts, a 36-19 win here in Week 14, a game that pretty much went every way it could go right for the Jaguars. That was the game that Daniel Jones blew out his Achilles for the Colts. They had already started their slide. Jones was playing on a fractured fibula, so why not keep him out there? And, of course, he then blows out his Achilles because he was probably overcompensating for the broken leg that he was playing on. But that's Indianapolis, and they have suffered the consequences. Jonathan Taylor has totally fallen off. He had a gigantic lead in the rushing total, and now James Cook is past him. So Jonathan Taylor looked like a shoo-in to win the rushing title coming out of Week 10, and now it looks like that's very much in doubt. And we'll see. With the Colts being dead, you don't really know which Indianapolis team is going to show up today. They're at home, but obviously it's going to be played in front of a dejected crowd. I would imagine there's even fans that probably say, you know what, we're not going to bother going now that the game is meaningless and now that we know that the Colts are not making the tournament. So curious about the crowd today, Dylan. Curious about the effort that the Colts put in, and if they're playing Taylor, and if they're going to get they're going to play them, but are they going to get their normal snap counts? And is there a chance they'll even see Riley Leonard at quarterback for Phillip Rivers at some point?
Yeah, I think the energy and the effort will still be there from the players. There's been a lot of teams that have been bounced from the playoffs and they're still playing, for next year, their next contract or whatever. So I think the players and the energy is still going to be there, but from the fans, yeah, they might be checked out because, the game yesterday kind of probably takes it out of you. You have a chance to make the playoffs. You start, what it was it 7-1?
7-1. They were the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, and I think they were, according to what metrics you see, they had like a 90 to 95% chance of making the playoffs, and 2 other teams in their division are going to make the playoffs, and they're not.
Right. Yeah, it's staggering. They're the first team since 2012, Chicago, to start 7-1 and miss the playoffs, and the next team you go back to is like 96. So in the last 30 years, what the Colts have done has only happened like one other time. So it is pretty wild. But I think as opposed to recent years, this has been whoever ends up winning the South, whether it's the Jaguars or the Texans, like the South champion is legit this year. Whereas in the other couple of years where it took a collapse, it didn't feel like those teams were particularly strong. Now the Jaguars did, to their credit, they did win a home playoff game, but it just it seems like it's a little bit different in the AFC South this year. We can talk all about the Colts, but it really might not matter what Indianapolis team shows up if this recent form of Trevor Lawrence shows up. The Jaguars quarterback has been simply sizzling. A dynamic 4-game stretch in which he's thrown 12 touchdowns without an interception, coming off a performance in Denver that was extraordinary. Trevor Lawrence met with reporters earlier this week and was asked, was the Denver game the best you've ever played?
But as far as making plays and big moments and guys making, whether it's contested catches, obviously giving them a ball they can catch, putting it near them, up front, we protected really well. Just guys stepping up in a big game. Obviously, it was a big game. It was a good matchup, or a big matchup for us on the road in a tough environment. And I was just proud of the way we answered the call. And it started off really poorly, too, with the first 2 series. We were a little bit out of sorts, 2 3-and-outs, and we were able to bounce back and continue to play and stick together. So that's what I was mostly, proud about. And obviously, this part of the season, quarterback's got to play well if you're going to win. So I got to continue to do my part, and I know guys will do it around me too.
Yeah, Trevor had 3 passing touchdowns, a 115.4 passer rating, and also ran for a touchdown against the Broncos and that very good defense that Denver has. On the season, Trevor Lawrence now has 7 rushing touchdowns, an extraordinary number, a very encouraging number moving forward as he gets settled into this Liam Cohen offense. Liam Cohen talked earlier in the week about Trevor's running ability.
He's keeping his eyes down the field, I think, at a higher rate as well. In terms of when you're able to get out and extend, that makes you so much more dangerous as a quarterback, right? Where you're in the pocket, and all of us want the play to be executed within the timing and rhythm, right? That's for the quarterback to stay upright. That's for the plays to be able to be on time, to catch and run and all those things. But so much, I think, about playing this position is living in the gray. And that's such a thing, I think, for quarterbacks when they're playing with that free mind and just going out and competing. That's football. Like, that's what you got, you see high school all the time. You see it in Pop Warner. You see it in college. It's part of the game. Scramble, making plays, extending. Guys, all right, I saw him break off. I'm breaking off my route, and I'm just going to go find space. Like, that's backyard. That's playing football. That's winning football.
I love that comment, living in the gray, because that's exactly how you have to play quarterback in the NFL. If you're robotic, it won't work. There has to be an element of artistry to playing that position, and that's hard because when you're an artist, you gamble. And Trevor Lawrence has done a brilliant job of his artistry has been a beautiful creation over this last month, and hopefully that will continue. Let's stick with the Jaguars' ground game because an important milestone today, well, you would hope it happens today. Travis Etienne only needs 1 yard on the ground to get to 1,000 on the season, which is still a big-time benchmark. I get where, excuse me, we're now playing 17 games. I understand that your average per game doesn't have to be incredibly high to get to 1,000 yards if you're able to stay healthy throughout the season. But it's still an important achievement for Travis Etienne, who is in his last year of his contract here. So, I think in looking at it, good for Travis Etienne that he should go over 1,000 yards today, barring something really unforeseen. And he's been a big-time player for this offense, a very consistent player for this offense. Liam Cohen talked earlier in the week about what makes Etienne such a big part of their attack.
I'm excited for TJ this week, especially, and during these next few games here is for us to get our run game going again and get it to where it really needs to be. It's an all-11 approach, right? And it also involves his patience, his footwork, his landmarks, his reads. And, man, when he's on, that's when we can be really dangerous. So I've really appreciated TJ's work ethic this year, the way that he's approached every week, the way that he competes on Sundays. And so we're going to continue to need that.
There was some bad injury news for the Jaguar defense. It was announced, I believe, Christmas morning. Thursday morning, Jordan Lewis out for the season with a foot injury that he sustained in Denver last week. Just obviously a big-time blow to the secondary. Jordan Lewis has been outstanding since week 1. He's a veteran presence. He's got great instincts. So Jarian Jones, who has been playing really good football, will have to step up. But that's a big loss not having Jordan Lewis for the rest of the year with the foot injury. And again, that gets us to the kind of the circus act in the NFL, the oddity that everybody has had to watch. Phillip Rivers at quarterback at 44 years old. The Colts coming off a short week. They lost at home to San Francisco Monday night. And Rivers actually played pretty well. The Colts defense just completely no-showed. They almost got 50 hung on him by San Francisco, but Rivers did pretty well. He led the Colts right down to an opening touchdown to get up 7-0. You would think that would inspire the Colts defense, but it did not. So Rivers, again, we don't know what Shane Steichen, the Indianapolis coach, is going to elect to do today now that they're eliminated from the playoffs. But Phillip Rivers, we believe, is going to be the starter and probably will finish out this game. We could see Riley Leonard. But again, Rivers, very smart player, perhaps a future Hall of Famer, probably will eventually get in, maybe not as a first ballot guy. But Liam Cohen talked earlier in the week about the challenge of going up against Phillip Rivers.
First of all, a ton of respect for what he's doing, the player that he's been throughout his entire career. I've watched him at NC State. I mean, I've watched him, obviously, the Chargers, and over the years of how much command he has at the line of scrimmage, the competitor. I've always really respected and appreciated his game. So he's able to command. He knows the system. They obviously have a very strong connection with him and Shane and that staff. And so you can see that there's a guy that's running their offense. He's able to make checks and get to things that he knows are beaters against certain looks and coverages. And those guys are making plays for him out on the perimeter. Nothing's really changed in terms of our preparation of how we were going into this game the first time against Daniel and what that looked like. So very good offense still, as you guys saw the other night.
Yeah, the Colts can score. Rivers is pretty limited in terms of throwing it deep, but you can tell that brain is still in elite form. So that's going to be a challenge today for the Jaguars, particularly not having Jordan Lewis out there. All right, we are off and running on the Terminix Kickoff show. When we come back, let's get it to Indianapolis. Let's hear from the voice of the Jaguars. We will be joined by Frangi in our next segment. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Your front row seat to history in the making.
The Florida Gators, they are the 2025 national champions.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
In Northeast Florida, power outages are unavoidable, but losing comfort, security, and peace of mind doesn't have to be. With a Generac home standby generator from American Electrical Contractors, your power comes back on automatically the moment an outage begins. As Jacksonville's leading and one of the longest-running Generac dealers, American Electrical Contracting has the experience you deserve. Be prepared. Protect your home and family. Protect your business. Generac standby generators from American Electrical Contractors. Call 737-7770 or online at american-electrical.com.
Yo, you already know it's your main man E.T. And no one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails, served over ice balls, local craft beers, and handcrafted whiskey cocktails. Rounded out with adventurous drink menus, second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree drafts. Check them out now on Atlantic and Kernan. Twin Peaks, eat, drink, scenic views. Come on, somebody.
Chelsea here. Ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors before the new year? During Renewal by Anderson's December sales event, buy one, get one 40% off. And with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months, it's never been easier to say yes. Renewal by Anderson's Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable year-round. Offer ends December 31st. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. License number CGC 1527613.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
When someone excels in and out of the classroom, we should celebrate it.
That's why 1010XL brings you the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Wednesdays on The Frangi Show, tuned up by
The Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
If you're tired of weekend projects turning into weekend disasters, you're not alone. Building a fence isn't as easy as it looks. And let's face it, your neighbor still hasn't fixed his lopsided masterpiece. But Superior Fence and Rail makes it easy. Highly trained professionals, top quality materials, and a fence you'll love for years to come. Skip the stress and call the pros today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah & Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Jacksonville.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Starting your game day.
The Terminix Kickoff Show.
Presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting on 1010XL.
Welcome back to the Terminix Kickoff Show. Hayes Carline here with Dylan Denmark. Let's get it to Indianapolis and hear from our good buddy Frank Frangi, voice of the Jaguars and host of the Frangi Show. Frank, good morning. Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Good morning, Hayes. Merry Christmas to you and Dylan, and I'm doing great. We're here in dreary Indianapolis, although I heard the game's indoors today. That's good. but it's not cold. It's going to be like 60 degrees, but a dreary, rainy day, but an important day for the Jags. And Merry Christmas to you and everyone, and can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, they almost never have the roof opened. I know they can, but it feels like they almost, like at least when the Jaguars are there, it feels like it's always in a dome.
Yeah, I didn't even know it opened. I know some of them open. I didn't even know this one opened. But yeah, it's an indoor game, and And look, there's more and more dome teams in the league than ever. More are coming. The Titans are about to become a dome team. The Bills are about to become a dome team. The Jaguars, in a sense, will be a dome team, certainly with the cover. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where the league's going. And this is a good stadium, too, as you know. You've been here a bunch.
Yeah.
This is a good stadium here. It's had a Super Bowl. It's had Final Fours here. And, yeah, it's a good – I'm looking right at it, as a matter of fact. It's right across the street from where I am right now.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites for sure. Frank, let's talk about the Jaguars and the vibes as we go into today's game. What's it been like being around the club? And I would imagine that confidence and spirits are very high.
Yeah, there's no question. It's a confident team. They're playing like it. They're acting like it. They are. And I think in terms of how they played today, the best thing that could have happened was the Texans winning yesterday. Now, the best thing that could happen for the winning the division, being able to clinch it today, would have been the Texans losing. So we were all rooting for the Texans to lose yesterday. But in terms of being ready to play, Liam Cohen's message to this team from the get-go has been, no one's going to help you. No one's there to help us. You got to do it yourself. We have to do this ourselves. And that game ending the way it did played right into that. Look, it's not. You got to keep winning. Okay, the Texans are red hot. They find a way to win every week, so we have to win every week. So I think the way that game played out yesterday, in my mind, Hayes, helps the Jaguars. Not that they needed any help being focused, because they've been a very focused team, but that helps them stay focused, man. You got to keep winning. And so I think the fact that the Texans keep on winning helps the Jags to keep winning. I really do.
Yeah, I think it's a good card for Liam Cohen to be able to play for sure. And he's done a brilliant job all year with his week-to-week motivation with this club and how receptive the players have been as well. And he got another card to play this week with the Pro Bowl and only getting Ross Matizik, the long snapper, as the only Pro Bowl nod. And Liam voiced his displeasure with that on Wednesday. What a great job he's done. And again, how do you think another piece of motivation, how do you think Liam Cohen will use that?
I think it fits right in, Hayes. I think somewhere along the line, they picked up this us against the world, nobody respects us, the heck with the rest of y'all. Somewhere along the line, that became the calling card, and it's been a beautiful calling card. He's got the right personnel that plays to that. You know what I mean? You can motivate to a theme, but you have to have the right guys that'll take to the motivation. And he's got the right group of guys. These guys know what Duval is. They know how proud we are of our city, guys like you and me that grew up here, that know we've been underdogs a little bit. We don't have Mickey Mouse ears like they have in Orlando. We don't have Southeast like they have in Miami and whatever's in Tampa. But we're proud of what we are. We're proud of Duval. Well, this team is taken to that. This team, it acts like that the way, or feels like that the way we do. So, yeah, I think the Pro Bowl is one more thing. I think the fact that nobody talks about this team is one more thing, although that's starting to change a little bit. But, I think he's used that well. And again, you want to be motivated today. This is you said it at the top of the program. I'm not sure what coach you get today. I'm not sure. I can't imagine why you would play Phillip Rivers 4 quarters today. It's a perfect opportunity to see what you have in Riley Leonard. You don't get that many opportunities. Preseason games aren't that. You're out of the play. I get going and getting Phillip Rivers. I get it. You're trying to win, and you have a better chance with a veteran, even if he's older and not as strong-armed or whatever. You have a better chance to win that way than with the young quarterback who hadn't played. Made all the sense in the world. Well, you're out of it now. When that game ended yesterday, you were out of it. I can't imagine why you wouldn't want 2 or 3 quarters at least to see what you have in Riley Leonard. It's a common sense play to me. So I can't imagine that they wouldn't do that. Maybe because they feel like they owe it to Phillip Rivers since he came here and worked out that they owe him 4 quarters, and maybe that's how they'll play it. But it wouldn't surprise me to see the backup some today.
Yeah, I agree. And again, regardless of the quarterback for the Colts, it would seem like as long as they can stop Jonathan Taylor, they should be in good shape. The Jaguars did a great job against Taylor in the 36-19 win here in Week 14. Taylor had like 3.5 yards per carry, and he was averaging 5.7 entering the game. Taylor is a concern because he's such an electric player, and he's just been bottled up for several weeks now, so you feel like he's due for that 140-yard game. Frank, if Taylor doesn't have that kind of game, do you really see a path for the Colts today to pull this upset?
Well, I think you're right on it. I'll get to the path in a minute, but I think the first thing you said, I think you're 100% correct. They've gotten away from Jonathan Taylor. They've gotten away from their best player. He's their best player. He's certainly the best offensive player. Might be their best player. The Forrest Buckner out, he's probably their best player, period, right? They've gotten away from him. I think the Ravens had done that too, Hayes. And I think last night they said, screw this. We're giving the ball to 22, okay? Forget all this other crap that we've tried to do, and it's a passing era and this short passing game and controlled passing game and whatever he does in the NFL. You saw what the Ravens did last night. They said, screw that. We got Derrick Henry on our freaking team. We're giving the ball to Derrick Henry. What did he carry? 30? Was it 36 times last night? Something like that, right?
Yeah, 36 times.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think they said, screw this. We're giving the ball to Derrick Henry. I'll bet you the Colts do that today. Now, look, it was hard last week because, to your point, they never covered anybody. So they're down 2 touchdowns every time you blink. Well, you can't run it when you're down 2 and 3 touchdowns. So if the defense collapses against the 49ers or against the Jaguars like it did against the 49ers, well, then you can't do that. And I get that. But I'll bet you see an awful lot of 28 today. I'll bet you they got back to – I mean, watching last night, that was my take from last night is the 2 of the best backs in this league in the last 10 years have been Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor. And I saw how much Derrick Henry got it last night. I'll bet Jonathan Taylor gets it a bunch today. And now to your question about the pass, if the Jags play the way they've been playing, it's going to be hard for the Colts to beat them. Now, look, an NFL game, a road division game, they're always a little bit scary and nervous, and the momentum in a game happens very quickly, and games, all of a sudden the game isn't very long, you know what I mean? So that can happen. But barring something funky like that, I think it'd be hard. The way the Jags are playing right now, Hayes are blowing everybody out. Nick Mullins is finishing games, right? If the Jags continue to play like that, I think it'll be hard, in my opinion, be hard for the Colts to keep up. But I do think you're going to see a lot of 20.
Do you think the Colts now will shift their focus? It's Liam kind of alluded to this earlier in the week that the Jaguars were sort of identified by their opponents as a run-first team, run-heavy team. Right. And so teams really geared up to stop that. And now over the last 4 weeks, Trevor Lawrence has been outstanding. Do you think this is the first game that we see where taking away Trevor Lawrence as much as you can becomes the primary focus for Indianapolis's defense?
Maybe to a point, but you are who you are. You can't bring in new defensive players. You know, if you don't have DeForest Buckner, I don't know if you're going to get after the quarterback as well. I still think in any NFL game you try and stop the run first. I still think that's what you have to try and do in an NFL game. And I think the Jags have been wonderful at adapting to that, or adopting, whatever. Adapting, they got to get the word I'm trying to find. It's early. I think they've done a great job of saying, okay, look, these other teams are now stacking the box. We got to throw the football. And it coincided with Trevor Lawrence having this great breakout. So, yeah, maybe people are more aware, but I don't know that you can flip a switch, Hayes, all that much. You got to try and stop the run. And by the way, if they loosen the box, if it's all of a sudden a loose box, and Travis Etienne, to your point in the first segment you had, gets loose, that's great too. The Jags are still good when they're running the football. You made a good point, by the way, on the top of the program. I'm glad you said this. 1,000-yard seasons for running backs still matter. I don't care if you play 24 regular season games. That's the benchmark. That's a number for a reason. It's a round number for a reason. I don't care when Jim Brown and O.J. Simpson were playing, or 20 years from now, whoever's playing. 1,000-yard seasons still matter. Travis Etienne's had a marvelous season. I'm glad you played the cut from Liam, and I'm glad he's had that season. I'm glad you recognize that. What a season Travis Etienne's had. He's been a gigantic part. He's one of the MVPs of the team. He really is. And he's had a great year, and I bet he has a good year today.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's been so consistent week in and week out. One player that consistent, but unfortunately they will not have moving forward, Jordan Lewis. What kind of a loss is that for the Jaguars in your opinion, and who do you expect to step in?
Big loss. It's a big loss on many fronts. Number one, he's a phenomenal leader. He's one thing they did, and I credit Tony Baselli, James Gladstone, Liam all on this. They went and brought in real leadership to a young team. Robert Hainsey and Patrick McCary are real leaders. Eric Murray is a real leader. They're veteran guys. Eric Armstead has seen all that happen. He's a smart guy too. So the Foye Aluakin, and you know this, Hayes, because you're in that locker room 3-4 times a week. The veterans are playing like veterans. They're acting like veterans, and the younger players are taking to them. So Jordan Lewis not being out there is a big freaking deal, a big deal. So, yeah, they got to find the leadership somewhere. As for on the field, Jarian Jones becomes the nickel. I think that's pretty simple at this point. What they were doing is Jordan Lewis was the nickel the whole time, right? And then they were rotating the three guys outside, Greg Newsome, Monteric Brown, and Jarian Jones. So those three guys rotated at those two outside spots. Well, no more rotation now. Now it's Monteric Brown and Greg Newsome are your outside corners, and Jarian's your nickel, and that's how you got to go play. And Christian Braswell becomes your fourth corner. So you're down a guy. So in terms of on the field, it's Jarian Jones. Jarian Jones is always a good player. That hasn't been talked about enough. He's had a heck of a season for a young player, the young player out of Florida State. I mean, he's been good. And so he's not the player Jordan Lewis is yet because he didn't have the instinct. He hadn't played as much. But he's been a good player for him. So they're good at nickel, but they're down depth a little bit. They now don't have that rotation outside. It's now three guys to play three with Christian Braswell as a backup. But I think it's a big loss. I think it's a very big loss not having Jordan Lewis the rest of the way.
What's the buzz on Monteric Brown in your opinion? How do you think the brass feels about him?
Really good player that has to be in the right defense. Monteric's a good player. He's really good. He's not fast. So if he's having to play man-to-man, if he's having to play man-to-man, if you play a lot of man and guys are running go routes, it's going to be harder for him. He's not a super fast guy. And everybody knows that. But Anthony Campanile has been so good at carving up a defense. So you got a guy like Monteric who's a really good player. He finds the ball. He's tough. He's a good tackler. He's good at jams. If you play that zone defense where he's got his eyes on the quarterback the whole time, he's a hell of a cornerback. And that's what they do. If this was a team, Hayes, that played a lot of bump in the press man and always had a cornerback travel with a good receiver and all that stuff, the way teams let that play, he wouldn't be as good a player. Last year, whatever the hell they were doing last year on defense, and I'm still not sure I know what it was, but whatever the hell it was, he wouldn't have fitted as well. But this defense, where you can watch quarterbacks, where he's super smart, he's a super good tackler, he's very physical, he's got great ball skills, he just doesn't run real fast. The reason he didn't get drafted is what are cornerbacks now? 4.3, 4.4? He's probably a 4.6 guy, right? But he's a very good player. They like him a lot, and I think he's a big part of not only the present but the future because he's a damn good football player.
Absolutely. A couple more with Frank Frangi, voice of the Jaguars and host of the Frangi Show. Frank, let's talk about the Jaguars' offensive line dealing with some attrition. How do you foresee that unit playing today?
You'd rather have everybody. That's what I'd like to say. You'd rather have everybody. I don't worry about if neither Hainsey, I think they've ruled McCary out, and they're still trying to decide on Hainsey. I think I'm right about that. Mm-hmm. Or I might have had backwards. But anyway, if neither guy plays.
No, you're right. McCary out and Hainsey questionable.
Okay, so if let's assume to your question neither guy plays. They're going to be okay at right guard. Walker Little did a good job last week. He came in and played right guard. There's no DeForest Buckner. Grover Stewart's a good player, but he's a better player when DeForest is in there because DeForest is always getting the extra lineman. So Grover Stewart has some one-on-one stuff. He's not going to have that now. So, but I think Walker Little will be fine at right guard. Jonah Monheim's going to be a good center. They're confident in him. They believe in him. He's a smart guy, but he's still a rookie. He hasn't played very much. And compared to Robert Hainsey, a veteran who's played a lot, is one of the leaders on this team. So yeah, that's a concern. But I'll say this: they build a team. That whole next man up thing, as much as that's a cliche, and it's probably an overused cliche, Hayes, it's true. You got to go play the next guy, and so they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. The last two games, they've got the better team. All right, they got the better team. Once you get in the playoffs, everybody's got a good team. But I think they'll be okay today. If it's Monheim and Walker Little, I think they'll survive.
How do you think the game goes today?
I think the Jags are going to win. I think the Jags have the better team. I think they're a focused team. To your point in the first segment, I don't know what you're going to get from the Colts. You made a good point. I don't know what you're going to get from the Colts crowd. You know, it's an interesting day here. It's dreary. It's rainy and dreary and gray here. Well, that has nothing to do with the game because it's indoors, but it does have something to do with getting to the game. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You still got to get to the game. So I don't know what kind of crowd they'll have. It's been, again, as you said at the top of the program. See, Hayes, I listen to your show. You're
I
my favorite
appreciate
talk
it.
show. I listen to this stuff. Okay, I'm your listeners.
I can't thank you enough.
Okay, so there's a but you made a good point. You go from 7-1 on top of the world, and finally, after all these years, having your quarterback problem solved. It's been a problem since Andrew Luck got out. You finally have it solved with Daniel Jones. You're finally 7-1. You're the number 1 seed, and then it all came crashing down. So how the Colts fans will respond to that, I have no idea. It's their last home game. They go to Houston next week. So you don't know what you're getting from the Colts. The Jags have to treat this like you're getting A-list Colts, right? They have to treat this like you're getting Colts in their prime, that you're getting a bunch of Jonathan Taylor, that you're getting a fired-up team and a well-coached team, and that's how they have to treat it. But from our standpoint, observers looking in, it's hard to get an idea of what kind of Colts team you're going to get. But I think the Jags are going to beat the Colts. The Jags have handled everybody they've played. They've been focused. I can tell you being around them, it's a focused football team. I think the Jags win. I won't say win easy because you never win easy in the NFL. But I'd be surprised if it takes a late field goal to win this one.
Sounds great. Frank, great stuff. We certainly appreciate it, and have a wonderful call today. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks, man.
All right. We certainly appreciate Frank Frangi. Always very kind to join us on Sunday mornings to get ready for the game. And, Frank, you can hear at 1 o'clock today, Jaguars at Colts. We'll certainly look forward to hearing the call. When we come back on the Terminix Kickoff show, let's go inside the locker room. We'll hear from linebacker Devin Lloyd. We'll also get into the injury report. And we'll talk about the AFC South, what's going on there, and give you a look at today's AFC playoff implication games that could affect the Jaguars. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
At 1010XL, radio is just the beginning.
Transmission begins.
The 1010XL Sports Network is now everywhere on your desktop, laptop, and phone. Find 1010XL at 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. And now that Christmas is over, it's time to treat your truck. Head to Leonard Truck Outfitters, where you can turn that Christmas cash or gift cards into the perfect truck upgrade. Whatever your truck needs, Leonard has it. If Santa didn't quite get it, go fix it at Leonard Truck Outfitters. Or maybe you did get exactly what you wanted, and now it's time to add even more. 2 locations, Landing and Beach Boulevard. Leonard Truck Outfitters, built for the way you work, play, and drive.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window
World, simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
This football season, Hurricane Grill and Wings is your game day getaway. Catch every play with the perfect drink in hand. Handcrafted cocktails like the Millionaire Margarita, Spicy Guavarita, Old Fashioned, or the Red Bullerita. Beer more your style to watch the games? Enjoy an ice cold Bud Light. Game day cocktails and Bud Light specials are here all season long at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find a restaurant near you at hurricanewings.com.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we want it, we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog. on 1010XL.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Professional painters know the right finish starts with the right paint. That's why they trust First Coast Paint. Featuring Benjamin Moore paints and expert customer service, First Coast Paint keeps the pros stocked and rolling. No gimmicks, no big box confusion, just top quality Benjamin Moore paint, advice, and the best service in Jacksonville, period. Because real pros don't cut corners, they color them. First Coast Paint, with locations in St. John's and St. Augustine. Simply superior paint.
The toughest bulls, the bravest riders. For 8 seconds, it's all on the line. Glory or nothing. These are cowboys who face down danger, defy the odds, and push themselves beyond limits most wouldn't dare. This is their world, where legends are made on the backs of ranked bulls. It's bull time, Jacksonville. PBR Bucks into Five Star Memorial Arena February 20th and 21st. Get your tickets now at pbr.com/tickets.
This holiday season, Universal Roof and Contracting is making it easy to check roof repairs off your list. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through December 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home and building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
When the lights were on, the young guns showed that it was time to perform. In the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence would lead Jacksonville on a 9-play, 75-yard drive, capped off by a Trevor Lawrence rushing touchdown, giving the squad a 24-17 lead with 7:44 left in the period. The 5-minute drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Attention small business owners. Did you know you can get 100% tax deduction on a brand new Cadillac?
That's right. Choose your new Cadillac and qualify for a 2025 tax deduction of up to 100% of the purchase price.
There's never been a better time to own a Cadillac and drive your business forward in style.
Visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville today for incredible deals and expert advice.
Don't miss your chance. Experience the luxury you deserve and the savings you need.
Plus tax tag title, $9.99 admin fee, and resistol on approved credit.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit HollisPools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
The Terminix Kickoff Show.
Presented by American Electrical Contracting and Campione Law on 1010XL.
Welcome back to the Terminix Kickoff Show. Hayes Carlyon here with Dylan Denmark. We're going to go inside the locker room. We're going to hear from one of the Jaguars that's been arguably the biggest surprise of the season. Linebacker Devin Lloyd, a player that was fighting for a job in training camp, was able to hold off Ventrell Miller and then put together just an outstanding season. He was the AFC Defensive Player of the Month in September and had a little bit of a hiccup with an injury, but Devin Lloyd's been back and playing at a high level for the last few weeks now. And he's going to be, key today, stopping Jonathan Taylor, trying to fluster Phillip Rivers, who excels in those short, intermediate throws. So a big challenge today for Devin Lloyd in this rematch against the Colts, and he certainly seemed ready for it when I met with him earlier this week. All right, we're pleased to be joined with Jaguars linebacker Devin Lloyd here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing? Happy holidays.
I'm good. Happy holidays to you.
How's everything going? What's your favorite part of the holidays?
I just love holidays. Thanksgiving and Christmas are my favorite. Just being around the family, obviously eating good food. You know, it's hard to beat. And then obviously Christmas. You know, you just love the just being around family. Just the religious aspect of it.
Devin, what has made this team so successful in clinching a playoff berth with still 2 weeks left?
I think it just comes down to the off-season work. Guys, taking pride in their work, and then that trickling down to training camp. Obviously, in-season practices, everybody's just locked in, and we've always had all the talents. More so, just everybody being dialed on the same page, and putting out a good product on Sundays.
You've had such an outstanding season. What do you think has been some of the strengths of your game, Devin, throughout this fall?
Just playing with violence. Being opportunistic, taking the ball away. I would say those two.
Were you surprised that didn't lead to more notoriety when it came to the Pro Bowl voting, or is that just something you feel like you gotta just roll with the punches with?
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You look at it. It is what it is. You feel like from my aspect, did enough to obviously get the starting nod, but that wasn't the case. At the end of the day, it's out of my control. So
Josh really defended you out there and said how upset he was by it. Have you gotten some pretty good support from your teammates?
Oh, yeah, definitely. A lot of support. Everybody kind of understands, this is a tough deal, but, hey, it is what it is. At the end of the day, we're in a great situation to play in the real bowl, and that's what we want.
Absolutely. And Big Test Sunday going up to Indianapolis, obviously you guys played very well against them in the first meeting a few weeks ago. What are some things from that meeting that you can hope translates over to Sunday in Indianapolis?
Yeah, just being really good in the run game. Obviously, they brought in Phillips, so that's a different quarterback that we're facing, so we got to be ready for him and how he operates the offense. But, it starts with the run game, for any team. So got to be good there and then build on top of that.
Seems like he's still very decisive, obviously a highly intelligent player. What stands out? And does it help that you at least have a couple games of Phillip Rivers to sort of look at in terms of knowing what to expect?
Yeah, it definitely helps having a couple games. Obviously, we're going on the road, so they'll be at home. But yeah, you can see he has a great command of the offense. He obviously knows it really well, and he can still get to all the plays that he needs as beneficiary for the offense. So just making sure that everybody's in the right spot and rush and covers work together. So.
You guys did a great job on Jonathan Taylor in the first game. You had like 3.5 yards a carry. What'll be some things you got to do to be successful against him again?
Pretty much the same thing. And really every week it's just playing with hands, nobody staying blocked, being disciplined, everybody's in the right gaps, and doing that for 4 quarters.
Devin Lloyd, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Outstanding season for Devin Lloyd. 65 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 9 quarterback hits, 6 pass breakups, 1 fumble recovery, but the big number that pops that's going to make Devin Lloyd a lot of money in 2026, 5 interceptions, second in the NFL. An unbelievable year for Devin Lloyd, and we'll see what he can do today against an Indianapolis team that certainly poses a lot of challenges. Dylan, let's get it to the Farah and Farah injury report, please, sir.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah,
Jacksonville,
exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, the Jaguar defense takes a sizable hit this week. Jordan Lewis to injured reserve with a foot injury sustained in the win last week in Denver. Just a tough loss in a lot of ways. Jordan Lewis is an outstanding player, also offered a lot of leadership, tremendous with the communication aspect of things. So that's a challenge. We haven't seen this defense now have to go without Jordan Lewis for any length of time. He dealt with a neck injury earlier in the year, but now he's out, and it's going to be really up to Jarian Jones, you would imagine, to step in and fill that void, as Frank Frangi mentioned in the previous segment. So that's the big injury news, unfortunately, for the Jaguars. And there's some other issues here. Right guard Patrick Macari is out with a back injury. So Walker Little, who I was surprised with. Dylan, were you surprised that Walker Little was the first guy in at right guard last week?
Yes.
Yeah, he played well. But I'm curious to see now with Indianapolis having like a week to get ready and again, we're going to get to the challenges the Colts have as well in terms of the injury report. But that'll be interesting to see if Walker Little can continue that strong play at right guard. Center is also an issue today. Robert Hainsey listed as questionable with a groin injury. So that could be Jonah Monheim, the 7th-round rookie, stepping in at center there. But they like Monheim, and he had to fill in last week when Hainsey got hurt during the Denver win. And so, the Jaguars could certainly get a long look at Monheim today at center if Hainsey is inactive. Reserve defensive end Danny Strigow out with an ankle injury, so that supplemental pass rush, will take a little bit of a hit. I thought Ogba did some good things last week. Finally, he recovered a fumble, and you could say, well, the ball just somebody had to dive on it. So, Ogba able to recover a fumble off of some loose ball handling by Denver last week. He also batted down a pass at the line. So we'll see if maybe the veteran can provide some rush today on the Colts, whoever they elect to go with at quarterback. We believe it will be Phillip Rivers, at least to start the game, and we'll see with the Colts being eliminated what Coach Shane Steichen elects to do. Let's look at it from the Indianapolis side of things. DeForest Buckner back to IR. That's really tough on Indianapolis. He had battled through a neck injury, went on IR, came back last week. Last Monday, Monday night in the loss to San Francisco, and apparently re-aggravated the neck injury. So DeForest Buckner, who was an outstanding defensive tackle, one of the better ones in the NFL, just a giant, and very good at supplying interior pass rush, he will not play today for Indianapolis. That is a massive loss for the Colts defense. They might get Sauce Gardner back, the talented corner who they gave up 2 first-round picks for, and then promptly didn't win another game. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about the Colts tanking. They don't have a first-round pick in the coming draft. So they are not trying to lose deliberately like some teams may be today. I'm looking at you, Vegas. So we'll see. But so we'll see if Sauce Gardner goes. He's been battling a calf for the last few weeks. Again, they list him as questionable. Obviously, he was able to practice some this week. It does make you wonder, you give up that kind of investment in a player, 2 first-round picks. You're now eliminated from the postseason. Are you going to put Sauce Gardner out there? It seems like unless he's 100% and the calf injury is completely behind him, you probably wouldn't take that risk as a franchise, considering if he had an Achilles tear now. You've already got Daniel Jones dealing with that. To suffer that in late December would really put a player like Sauce Gardner's 2026 season in jeopardy. So we'll see how the Colts elect to play that. And for those of you needing an Anthony Richardson update, he is out with the orbital injury that he sustained earlier in this season, the freak injury. So Richardson is not an option for Indianapolis today. He is out with the eye injury, so it'll be Phillip Rivers starting. If they decide to pull Rivers or Rivers gets hurt, Riley Leonard, the rookie, we expect to get a shot, and he has looked we saw him in the first meeting, the Jaguars 36-19 win in Week 14. Doesn't look ready, but perhaps the Colts want to see what they have in him. So something to keep an eye out there. Again, it's hard to know how the Colts are going to play this one today, just being eliminated last night with the Texans beating the Chargers. Let's get it to the AFC South preview. And let's talk about Houston. Houston is now 11-5, an unbelievable win streak against a tough schedule. And that defense continues to be amazing. They go into SoFi and beat the Chargers 20-16. Yesterday, the Chargers are also now 11-5. They dropped to the 7 seed. Houston is, Dylan, it's hard to me to see any other defense as being even remotely close this season to what the Houston Texans offer.
Yeah, no doubt. And, as you look at the playoff picture and who you want to play, who you don't want to play, the number one team I do not want to play is Houston. I know you've played them twice, and you beat them here, and then you should have beat them in Houston. I do not want to play that defense whatsoever. I would rather take my chances against Buffalo. I'm sure you saw last week at Cleveland, they played a very ugly game.
Yeah.
23-20. And Buffalo is not the same team on the road as they are at home.
Right. And Buffalo can't stop the run. So while I get that everybody worries about Josh Allen having some Superman 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns kind of game because he's the reigning MVP. But defensively, they've got issues that I think the Jaguars could take advantage of. So we'll see. I would tend to agree with you. I just think that familiarity, having seen Liam Cohen's offense twice, that would be a concern for me playing Houston. But it basically just comes down to their personnel. They just can't be blocked. I mean, the Chargers' offensive line has been really a weak spot, all season because they lost Rashawn Slater in camp. Then they lost Joe Alt in basically the first month of the year. So 2 outstanding offensive tackles have basically not been there all year. But still, I mean, we saw what Houston's rush did against the Jaguars in that comeback. I'm with you. I think that would be a tough matchup. So we'll see. And again, the Texans are right there with the Jaguars have got to win their final 2 games to make sure that they win the AFC South. So that was the big news yesterday. In terms of the other matchup involving teams in the AFC South, we talk about the Titans just because they're in the division, so it feels like we have to. They're 3-12. They are playing better, if you can say that about a 3-win team. They killed the Chiefs. Now, granted, it's the Chiefs basically. It's Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, and a JV team, but to their credit, they really cruised past the Chiefs last week. So Tennessee 3-12, hosting New Orleans, who's 5-10. So this is basically a draft pick game. Be interested in see how Tennessee handles this. But again, with the Jaguars closing the season against the Titans here in Jacksonville a week from today, we'll definitely pay attention to see if Cam Ward can continue his recent strong play. And then a couple of games involving AFC teams that have some playoff implications. We'll start with a game that happened Thursday night. The Broncos edged the Chiefs. Not terribly impressive, but Denver able to get past Kansas City, and they have now won the AFC West with the Chargers losing last night. And then 2 games today, Patriots 12-3 going to the Jets, who are 3-12. This basically seems like it's a roll the ball out and win for New England today. Dylan, do you think the Jets can even offer a slight bit of resistance?
Not with Mr. Cook at quarterback.
Yeah, so that should be New England getting to 13-3. Again, they have the Dolphins to close the season, so it doesn't appear like the Jaguars are going to be able to catch New England. Be very unlikely to see the Patriots lose either of their final 2 games. And then the other game that I think is going to be extraordinary to watch, and it involves that Buffalo team we were talking about. The 11-4 Bills host the defending world champions, the Philadelphia Eagles, at 10-5. So Eagles at Bills. I kind of like the Eagles in this one. Who do you like?
Same. I like the Eagles running attack.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I just don't think Buffalo can hold up against Saquon. And Hurts is running a little bit more now, which seems to have brought a spark. So I like the Eagles there. But again, for the Jaguars, it's headed very much to just take care of business. You'll be the AFC South champion, and you'll be the 3 seed, is where it looks like everything is headed for the Jaguars. But we will see. Big test today going to Indianapolis anytime you play on the road. And look, the Jaguars haven't had great success in Indianapolis. It's not as bad as the flip of it, where Indianapolis hasn't won here since 2014. But the Jaguars only have 2 recent wins in Indianapolis going back several years now. So it hasn't been a friendly place, but certainly this is probably the biggest matchup edge the Jaguars have had going into a game in Indianapolis in quite some time. When we come back on the Terminix Kickoff show, let's kick off our second hour by diving into the real layers of this game. We're going to go through the keys to the game coming back. We're also going to talk to Ryan O'Halloran. Ryan does an outstanding job, sports columnist for the Florida Times-Union. We'll get his thoughts about today's game. I have an interview with Parker Washington that we'll play for you, and we'll go behind enemy lines. Our good buddy D-Rock for ESPN up in Indianapolis getting ready to cover the game, so we'll go live to Indianapolis to hear from D-Rock. Before we get you ready for the Publix Tailgate Show, you're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Where electrifying moments come to life.
Inside of a minute to play.
And legendary performances live.
A monumental milestone in a legendary career.
1010XL. The power of Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Frangi here for Coil Fencing. Jacksonville is full of memorable sports moments. Remember Morton Anderson missing a chip shot field goal that launched the Jags into the playoffs in '96? You know who doesn't miss? Coil Fencing. Coil has been the fencing leader in Northeast Florida since 1927. Heck, Coil has been installing fences since before Emery Bellard installed the wishbone offense. If you need a new fence, I recommend calling Coil Fence today at 904-356-4821 or visit coiljacks.com. Coil Fencing, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Bold City's radio home of the Jaguars. 1010XL. WJXL AM and FM. Jacksonville Beach. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from 1010XL.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors with great ratings and expert reviews. You know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
When the team heats up and the temps climb high, Sunrise Heating and AC keeps you cool. That's no lie. From kickoff to overtime and every long drive, they'll keep your home feeling fresh and alive. When your system's down, don't sweat the score. Sunrise Heating and AC of North Florida is ready to restore. Fast, honest service from a local crew, keeping Jacksonville fans chill all season through. Your comfort starts here at sunriseheatingandac.com. Touchdown!
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
After an accident, you may have an x-ray that looks normal, but you're still in pain. That's because soft tissue injuries like sprains and tears don't show up on x-rays. And if an insurance company doesn't see it, they may not believe you're hurt.
When they don't take your pain seriously, we fight back. We know doctors who are experts in diagnosing soft tissue injuries. They can help us prove that your pain is real, and we'll seek to get you paid for all of your future medical expenses.
Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Ready to upgrade your home? It's Renewal by Anderson's 31-day sale. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires December 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for the Jaguars and proud member of Jacksonville's newest orthopedic dream team. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we brought together 10 board-certified fellowship-trained surgeons, each one a specialist in their field, all working together to deliver smarter, faster care with better results. From sports injuries to joint replacements, we've got the right player for every position. Visit osjax.com and meet your team. That's osjax.com.
You like winning? This is former Jaguar linebacker Tom McManus, and I'm excited to introduce you to J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling of Greater Jacksonville. If you're a property manager, contractor, builder, realtor, or homeowner, get that feeling of success with less stress. I've used them. My friends have used them. So get your free junk removal and hauling estimate today. Now, I call that a win. Veteran-owned and operated J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256. We haul it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the keys to the game. Brought to you by Instant Keys, fast, professional, honest locksmith service.
Welcome back to the Terminix Kickoff Show. We've got Dylan Denmark. I am Hayes Carlyon. And Dylan, the first one for me is be ready for tricks. Be ready for tricks today, Jaguars. The Colts are out of it. Shane Steichen, look at it from their perspective. He's got to figure out a way to have this team motivated. He's coaching for his job. I mean, I don't think he should get fired. I don't think the collapse is Shane Steichen's fault. I would fire the general manager, Chris Ballard, and we'll see what the Colts' new ownership, the Irsay daughters, elect to do with those decisions. But Shane Steichen's coaching for his job. At least he's got to have that approach. And so you can't have a no-show here in the home finale. So how do you get your players motivated to play, playing with a lot of energy, building some good buzz, probably get a crowd that is, you know, you're talking about the diehards are coming today. The casual fan probably is not showing up the day after the team was eliminated when they were 7-1 in the number one seed in the AFC a month and a half ago. So the way you generate energy is you fake a punt. You know, you go for it on fourth down, although that's become so common. I'm not sure that would bring a lot of juice unless you went for it on like 4th and 7 from your own 20. But expect a trick today, particularly in the special teams phase of the game. You have to think Shane Steichen is going to try to steal possessions. It's really not a bad idea anyway with the way the Jaguars are playing. But I would especially be on alert today for reverses, flea flickers, you know, Jonathan Taylor throwing a pass, you know, something that could give the crowd some life, and we'll see how that plays out. The biggest thing is when the Colts do elect to just play regularly on offense, when it's just their normal, you know, procedure, you got to harass Phillip Rivers. I mean, watching Monday night, Dylan, it was clear. I mean, when he has time, he knows where to go with the ball, and he is still pretty accurate. But when San Francisco blitzed him, they didn't even have to get home. As soon as he saw the blitz was coming, and I'm not saying he's not playing soft, but I do think he's very cognizant of being 44 years old and just understanding his ball protection is probably not going to be what it once was. He just is getting rid of the ball. Like as soon as he sees the first semblance of pressure, he's just throwing it. So I know Anthony Campanile doesn't, you know, blitz a ton, but I think in this game, I would bring pressure against Rivers more often than not.
Yeah, then you got to rely on your guys to play man on the back end. And I mean, Phillip Rivers, that first drive, you're like, oh, we might have a game here against San Francisco. Because I think most people thought San Fran would probably just roll and do what they usually do. And then that kickoff return fumble kind of changed the game. And if it's not for that, Indy's probably having a drive at the end of the game to either tie or win the game, you would think. That's what smart football players do. They know pressure and they know when to get the ball out. We all know that he can't throw the ball past 30 yards. So it's going to be a dink and dunk and an intermediate kind of game.
Yeah, absolutely. So in regards to getting after Rivers, harassing Rivers, I would blitz him. But I also love the wrinkle that I think they're having more success with now, which is Trayvon Walker rushing from the inside. And you're seeing his quickness really disrupt guards. I'd like to see that again today. And again, that is something that we saw Trayvon Walker do with a lot of success in the win last week over the Broncos in Mile High. Liam Cohen talked earlier this week about the positives of Trayvon Walker rushing from the interior.
This is such a matchup league, and you're constantly trying to find different ways of putting your players in positions to be successful, and I thought Trayvon played very well. He played with his hair on fire. He was relentless, made some critical stops for us, both from the end and from inside, rushing on the guards, rushing on the tackles. So more so matchup based, and where you're trying to get him one-on-ones, you try to do the same thing with Eric and with Josh and with all those guys to be able to find the way to get to the quarterback and affect the game. And I think Trey had a really nice game. I was very proud of his ability to continue doing this throughout this end of season push, and we're going to need him to continue to do that.
Absolutely, and we know it starts with Jonathan Taylor and stopping him. Again, Jonathan Taylor really was held in check in the first meeting, a 36-19 win for the Jaguars in Week 14. But Jonathan Taylor is one of the best running backs in the NFL. He has still had an outstanding season despite his recent struggles. Defensive coordinator Anthony Campanile met with reporters earlier this week and talked about the challenge of slowing Taylor down.
Yeah, I think anytime you're playing against him, everybody better be doing their job. Everybody better have great gap integrity. This isn't a guy you freelance with and you delve into your autistic interpretation of what everybody should be doing. This is everybody do your job, and do your job to the best of your physical ability, because he can make you look bad in a hurry. I think he's done a tremendous job. Obviously, the whole year, everybody knows that about him. But it takes, all it takes is one guy not executing for him to make you pay. And you watch him, to your point, you watch him in their stadium. Yeah, I mean, if he gets out, he can fly. So he is as much of a challenge in the run game as anybody will play the entire year.
Dylan, you liked that one.
That's new. I've never heard that from a defensive coach.
That's great. He's been fantastic. He's Anthony Campanile. We probably don't talk. We mention him here and there, but what an outstanding season he's had as a first-time defensive coordinator and first year here in Jacksonville. A challenge, though, I think for Campanile today, if Rivers gets time, is receiver Alec Pierce. The Colts have a versatile group of receivers. They have Michael Pittman, who's sort of the, I'd say, possession guy, big catch radius guy. They have Josh Downs, who's sort of the slippery, small slot guy. But Alec Pierce is, and they have Tyler Warren at tight end, a first-round pick, a very talented rookie. But in terms of their receivers, Alec Pierce is really starting to emerge as a big play threat for the Indianapolis Colts. And he's burned the Jaguars before. He did it here last season. But he is somebody that I think if you're looking for the Colts to hang in this game and possibly pull an upset, I think Alec Pierce, big plays to Pierce, has to be something that the Colts get done today. So that's on the Jaguars to slow down Alec Pierce. Liam Cohen talked about how much talent Pierce has earlier this week.
I've had a lot of tape on him coming out. I was in L.A. as an assistant quarterbacks coach. I can't remember what I was at the time, but I remember watching him a ton coming out of Cincinnati. And he can fly. He's making one-on-one plays all over the field, whether it's in the deep shots, third downs, red zone. There's definitely a trust factor there, and he's got a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, and so as you look at it, Pierce is somebody they cannot let get behind them. Let's talk about the Jaguars' offense. I think it starts with Trevor Lawrence and staying hot. Offensive coordinator Grant Udisky met with reporters earlier this week and talked about the yards after catch and how well that reflects on Trevor Lawrence.
Run after catch is an accuracy stat. From a quarterback perspective, that is. And there's absolutely some validity to that, where you see Parker Washington had 2 huge run after catches in the previous game. And a lot of that is due to his accuracy. Not only that placement on short routes, intermediate routes, but even some of those deeper routes, if you can hit a guy in stride and they don't have to lose their speed, that's the difference between one step, a DB catching up and closing the space, or a guy being able to turn up and make a move on a defensive back, a linebacker, safety, whoever it may be in that space, or the guy having to slow down, collect himself, or reach back for the ball and lose all of his momentum. I think as Trevor's gotten used to and continue to create that chemistry with the wideouts, the tight ends, the backs coming out of the backfield, I think that's where you see a lot of the accuracy improve, because we have such a heavy reliance on timing, rhythm, guys being at the right spot at the right time, getting to these certain spots, being able to see the coverages and being able to see how defenses are playing you and getting to those spots. When Trevor's on the same page with his eligibles, that's when you see an elite level of accuracy really come to fruition.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, Dylan. Both these coordinators are fun to listen to because of that. I've never really thought about yards after catch as a quarterback accuracy stat. Makes all the sense in the world, though.
Yeah, especially on those slants and digs. If you're not hitting your receiver in stride for him to accelerate into the open field, that does make a lot of sense. If you throw him from behind, the DB can probably catch up and make the tackle right there.
Absolutely. We talked about the Colts' versatile weapons on offense. The Jaguars have really established that as well. We've talked at length about Jacoby Myers for weeks now on the Terminix Kickoff show. Brian Thomas Jr., I think, is given the Colts problems in the past and is, I think, rounding into form. Would not be surprised if Brian Thomas Jr. is able to get behind the Colts today. He was able to do that in the first matchup. Parker Washington's coming off an extraordinary day. Brenton Strange has done some really good things. Trevor Lawrence talked earlier this week about his ability to spread the ball around to such a good group of targets.
Fortunately, we have guys, really good players at really every position, especially that touch the ball. Like you look at our wideouts and our tight ends and our running backs. So there's really no telling whose day it's going to be. It just coverage dictates that. Some plays, turn into scrambles, and broken plays turn into big plays. Kind of on Sunday there was a couple of those. So it's hard to say what it's going to be, but you have an idea of maybe it's like specific third down red zone, some areas where guys maybe have a few more opportunities, but it's kind of just played out that way for whatever reason the last few weeks. But it's a credit to just everybody being ready because you never know who's going to get more opportunities a certain day. Sometimes that's just how the game goes, and you get fed the rock. And obviously Parker did a lot of great things when he got the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are our keys to the game. Again, a lot of this favors the Jaguars, but I would say the biggest key, we talked about it earlier in the segment, be ready for tricks from the Colts today, who have been eliminated from the playoff race. When we come back on the Terminix Kickoff show, let's talk to our good friend Ryan O'Halloran, columnist of the Florida Times-Union. Look forward to get Ryan's insights. That is up next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Let's take a look inside 1010XL.
Who wants the Grand Tour? That would be terrific. That would be great.
We have the drill in the morning.
Very amusing.
Jaguars today from 10 to noon.
Good.
Helmets and heels until 2.
Yes.
XL Prime Time and the Frangi Show afternoons.
This is great.
Then Baloo and Hacker take you into the night.
All in one location.
1010XL.
Yo, it's your main man E.T. here for Twin Peaks, and this season of giving starts with getting. Twin Peaks launches their holiday bonus card event. Buy a gift card for someone on your list, and we'll hook you up with a bonus card just for you. Because giving feels great, but getting rewarded for it, even better. Share the gift of crave-worthy food, ice-cold 29-degree beers, and a good time at Twin Peaks. And treat yourself while you're at it. Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views. Bonus cards are redeemable January 1st through January 31st, 2026 at participating locations.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey. Look, I was recently talking with Patrick and the team at Apex Roofing and Contracting, and even in a tough economic year, they wanted me to say thank you. Guys, Apex is locally owned, and they truly appreciate every homeowner and business owner who trusts them with roof repairs, replacements, or construction projects this year. So from the entire Apex crew and from me, happy holidays to all of our listeners, customers, and clients. And remember, for quality work from a team that cares about our community, that's ApexRoofingFL.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Now that Christmas is over, it's time to treat your truck. Head to Leonard Truck Outfitters, where you can turn that Christmas cash or gift cards into the perfect truck upgrade. Whatever your truck needs, Leonard has it. If Santa didn't quite get it, go fix it at Leonard Truck Outfitters. Or maybe you did get exactly what you wanted, and now it's time to add even more. 2 locations, Landing and Beach Boulevard. Leonard Truck Outfitters, built for the way you work, play, and drive.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. One of the biggest changes we've seen in fine jewelry over the last 25 years has been the growth of jewelry designers. At Underwoods, we're the leader, bringing to North Florida the best names in designer jewelry. In fact, we carry designer lines in a similar way to how clothing stores carry designer labels. The difference is that jewelry designers have to be a little more timeless in their presentations because nobody wants to buy a fine piece of jewelry only to find out the next year it's gone out of style. That's why you'll find at Underwoods the best of the jewelry designer names, those that are tried and true and popular. Names like David Yurman, Roberto Coyne, John Hardy, Marco Bichigo, Jude Francis, Lagos, Hippolyta, and a lot more are all available right now at Underwood's. So if you want the best looks in designer jewelry, stop by Underwood's, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangi Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Finding the right plumber to reline your cast iron pipes doesn't have to be a stressful experience. When you hire Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, you can rest assured you're getting the best in the industry. At Superior Plumbing and Pipelining, we're so confident in our work that we encourage you to get multiple estimates. Look at each company's reviews and check the scope of their pipelining work to make sure it's what you're expecting. But at the end of the day, make the superior choice. Superior Plumbing and Pipelining. Request a free estimate at superiorplumbingjacks.com.
Brian Wall here with Window World. You know that awesome feeling when you finally find that one place to go to that will give you a top quality product at a great price and then stand behind what they sell you? That's exactly what Window World does. Top quality, energy efficient windows at a great price that keeps more of your money in your bank account. With the absolute best guarantee in the window replacement business. That's why Window World has been the #1 window replacement company in the USA for years, selling more than 1 million windows each year for the past 8 years. That's a lot of satisfied customers, and you can be one too. Save money on installing new energy-efficient windows and save on your energy bills too. You can't lose. And if anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows ever, Window World and I will be there to make it right. Call Window World today or see them online and have them come and give you a free estimate and see why we are so proud of our products and the work we do for our customers. Call Window World or go online at windowworldneflorida.com. And thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Hey, Jags fans, Tommy Mack here. Crown Royal is the official whiskey of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This season, it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with Crown Royal Rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with generous spirit. Visit crownroyal.com/Royal Rig on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
The Terminix Kickoff Show.
Presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contract on 1010XL.
Welcome back to the Terminix Kickoff Show. Hayes Carline here with Dylan Denmark. Let's bring in our good buddy Ryan O'Halloran, columnist of the Florida Times-Union. Ryan, good morning. Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Same to you, Hayes. Good to join you this morning.
Yeah, it's, boy, who would have thought week 17, and we're talking about a Jaguars team that's 11-4 and trying to fight off the Houston Texans for AFC South supremacy. As you look at this matchup, Ryan, let's start from the Indianapolis side of things. The Colts eliminated last night with the Texans beating the Chargers. Do you think if you're Shane Steichen, does that change how you approach this game? And how on guard does Liam Cohen and his staff have to be for what Steichen might elect to throw at them today?
Yeah, I'll start with the Liam Cohen angle. I think they got to be on high alert. You know, we covered a lot of Jaguar games back in the day in December, this time of year, where it was let's get everybody involved. Let's be aggressive on fourth down. let's run a little trickery. I think the Colts will maybe sprinkle that in, but they plan this whole week to be alive in this game and beat the Jaguars to stay alive. They have a quarterback in Phillip Rivers who you're not going to experiment with. So I think you have to be ready for it. But if Rivers is starting the game, I do think the Colts will play it like they normally would have.
The Jaguars have some offensive line attrition. We know right guard Patrick McCary will be out with the back injury. We'll see about center Robert Hainsey, but doesn't appear like there's high hope that he'll be able to play today, but he is questionable as he tries to fight through a groin injury. Obviously, that would be alarming, but on the other side of things, the Colts aren't going to have DeForest Buckner, who returned Monday night with the neck injury coming off of IR, but re-aggravated it. How do you see that matchup in the trenches?
Yeah, you go Monheim at center if Hainsey can't go. I was a little surprised he was even listed as questionable. I thought he would have been ruled out. And then Walker Little at right guard. I guess the positive for the Jaguars is that Little saw a ton of reps at right guard last week, his first exposure to that. And then Monheim started a game and has finished a couple of games this year. So not totally foreign to Trevor Lawrence. But, I mean, you look at this Colts defense, I have no idea why Sauce Gardner is even playing in this game if he is active, because calf injuries lead to other injuries on that leg, like your Achilles. I would have shut him down. Maybe they would. But you look at this Indianapolis defense, minus Gardner, maybe minus Buckner, they are terrible against the pass. And to me, if you're Liam Cohen, is I come out, if I win the toss, I take the ball, I chuck it down the field, get a lead, and then eventually see if you can sort of poke holes in the Colts' run defense, because I think the Jaguars do need to get the run game going just a little bit.
In terms of the Jaguars' pass game, I agree with you. It certainly looks like a very enviable matchup. Brock Purdy threw 5 touchdowns against the Colts on Monday night. Who do you think will be the primary target today for Trevor Lawrence?
I think they get back to going. They get back to Myers because last week, Liam Cohen basically admitted after the game, we're waiting to see who Surtain covered and then adjust accordingly. And they thought that Parker Washington would have a big game because of that, and he did. I think do you see Brian Thomas run a couple of go routes, get him going? Reestablish Jacoby Myers over the middle, keep going to Washington. The thing about this Colts video from the San Francisco game is that everybody was open. Everybody had a chance. So I think that's what the Jaguars are looking at, scheming up some explosive opportunities for a lot of different guys.
How much do you think Trevor Lawrence's running ability has to be a focus for opposing defensive coordinators now?
It has to be, because if you're playing man and your defenders have your back to him, he's going to run it. And it's not because he can't find anybody open. It's just right there. So take the profit. And so if you're playing zone, you have your eyes on the quarterback, but also maybe you are letting the receivers run a little bit more free, finding their pocket. So it is a dilemma for defenses facing the Jaguars right now because of that.
As you look at the Jaguar defense not having Jordan Lewis today, how much will it hurt today, and how much do you think it hurts them moving forward?
Hurts them both now and in the immediate future, which is the playoffs. Because you look at the week 1 corners this team had active. Travis Hunter's on IR, Tyson Campbell's in Cleveland, and Jordan Lewis is on IR. So they've had some attrition at that position. I think Jerry Jones will be the nickel. What's going to be interesting to me is on the rare snaps they play base, do they continue that 3-man rotation with those 2 spots between Brown, Newsome, and Jones? I'd probably scale back that a little bit. You got to find Greg Newsome's got to pick it up. I mean, he came in, they handed him a starting job. He couldn't capitalize on it. He became a part of a rotation. You sort of know what you're getting with Buster Brown, but I think Newsome's going to be key. And then also, if you have a knock on Jerry Jones during his very good season, a little handsy. He'll commit some penalties, so I'm sure the Colts are aware of that as well.
The other thing, too, I give Anthony Campanile a ton of credit for this. Like, we really haven't seen a lot of coverage busts in the Jaguars secondary this year. Can you think of very many? I mean, am I wrong on that?
No, I think the long one to the one against Seattle in Newsome's first game, that was supposed to be, he thought he had deep safety help, so I don't know if that was a fundamental or a blown coverage, but you're right. This has been a very on-point defense in terms of their assignments. Usually when you see a guy open, it's just the other guy was better on that play. You don't see guys down the field and safeties and corners looking at each other with their hands in the air saying, where were you? You were my help. So I do think that comes down to coaching at the position coach level and also with Campanile as the coordinator.
Absolutely. Slowing down Jonathan Taylor obviously has to be paramount for the Jaguar defense. Do you think there's still a chance that he can have that 140-yard effort that the Colts probably have to have a semblance of chance of winning this game? Or do you think the Jaguar run defense, which obviously is the best in the NFL, they only give up 87.3 yards per game, can that elite ground game defense have another win against Jonathan Taylor? Because certainly in the first matchup, Taylor did very little.
Yeah, and you mentioned that first-ranked run defense. This is how good it's been. They've given up a couple long games in the last 2 weeks, yet they're still first. So they've been sort of consistent in that regard. But in terms of the Colts and Jonathan Taylor's usage, if they give it to him 30 times, then that's just malpractice because you're playing the long game with this running back. The Baltimore was still alive last night. That's why the bulldozer got it 36 times. But also John Harbaugh realized, if I want to be here next year, I should probably give it to number 22.
Yeah.
And so that made sense for them. But if I'm the Colts, I got to try and establish Taylor because your quarterback cannot move. And if guys are covered, he's just going to dump it off. So I think Taylor's going to have a lot of catches and also, I say 15 to 20 carries.
That's interesting. So I think they're going to utilize Taylor today, but you do bring up a great point. I mean, I guess it depends on what the Irsay daughter wants to do, because if you're safe, if you're Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard and you're being told you're safe, then you probably do elect to maybe manage Jonathan Taylor a little bit today. I mean, I don't think they would just shut him down, but maybe only give him like 8 to 10 touches. But if you're coaching for your job, and I don't think Steichen should be, but if you're coaching for your job, then, I mean, he's basically all you got.
Yeah, and that is the challenge for the Colts right now. You mentioned ownership there. You're 7-1. And you're not going to make a playoff. Okay, I know Daniel Jones got injured, but they were on the skids before that even happened. We talked about that every week. So if you're ownership there, you want to make your imprint. Do you do full scale sweep, re-sign Daniel Jones, or run it back with the same GM, same head coach who's also the play caller with Daniel Jones on an Achilles injury, which usually takes a full season to get back from. Look at Cousins, look at Rodgers. So. This is everything I just listed is good news for the Jaguars going into 2026 because the Colts don't really have a plan and they don't have 2 first-round picks.
That's exactly right, Ryan. Some interesting news from Jags PR. Anton Harrison has been added to the injury report. He is questionable now with an illness. Hopefully he'll be fine and be able to go. But in light of us believing Walker Little was going to replace McCary, if you don't have Hainsey at center, McCary at right guard, and Harrison at right tackle, what do you think the lineup would look like?
Well, my guess would be Walker Little moves outside the tackle, and I would put him at right tackle because Van Lanen's at left tackle. And then that means Wyatt Milum at right guard. Adoga, maybe he plays a little bit too. So, there's a reason why they used all these combinations in training camp, and we were told we were panicking. They had a plan. No, yeah. I don't. I think I trust that they had a plan. They just were taking too long to figure it out. We pointed that out to them.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. I digress on this. On the Harrison thing, this is the new injury report crackdown. Where you have to add anybody who wakes up with a tummy ache. They've had to do this a couple of times this year where that player ended up being active, including Trevor Lawrence, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in warm-ups. But the good thing about the Jags is they do have some O-line depth left, and they have some versatility O-line related left.
Absolutely. Ryan, we certainly appreciate your time. Ryan O'Halloran, columnist of the Florida Times-Union. Ryan, tell us what's coming up on Jacksonville.com and give us a sense of how you think this game plays out today.
Well, I'll do my 4 questions after today's game. I'll be online, and then column Tuesday and some other Jaguar stuff later in the week. How this game goes, I picked the Jags, what did I pick them, like 28-21, something like that. I think the Colts will be a proud team. They'll be gamey, but I think the Jaguars know what's at stake. And thanks a lot, Chargers. Thanks a lot for your help on Saturday, not showing up against the Texans. So that'll lead into next week where 13 wins is going to have to do for the AFC South title. Who had that a couple months ago?
Yeah, it's a great point. It's been a very peculiar season, but a great season here in Jacksonville, and hopefully it will continue as the Jaguars look to get to 13-4, and obviously that'd be the most wins they've had since 1999. So fantastic stuff, Ryan. We certainly appreciate it. Again, you can follow Ryan at Ryan O'Halloran and read his great stuff at Jacksonville.com. Ryan, have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for filling in for us. We certainly appreciate it.
All right, Hayes. Take care now, buddy.
All right, great stuff from Ryan O'Halloran. When we come back, one segment left on the Terminix Kickoff show. We'll go back inside the locker room, let you hear from receiver Parker Washington, and we will go behind enemy lines. D-Rock will join us by phone from Indy, and then we will hand it off to the Publix Tailgate Show at the top of the hour with Brian Sexton, JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Austin Lane. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's more than a game.
No matter how talented you are, it still comes down to that brotherhood of playing for one another.
1010XL. It's why we play.
In Northeast Florida, power outages are unavoidable, but losing comfort, security, and peace of mind doesn't have to be. With a Generac home standby generator from American Electrical Contractors, your power comes back on automatically the moment an outage begins. As Jacksonville's leading and one of the longest-running Generac dealers, American Electrical Contracting has the experience you deserve. Be prepared. Protect your home and family. Protect your business. Generac standby generators from American Electrical Contractors. Call 737-7770 or online at american-electrical.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Bring your marketing to the next level with 3D Digital, your local video production and digital marketing agency that specializes in ensuring your brand story is seen, heard, and remembered. Our award-winning team creates professional content that will be launched across multiple platforms to precisely target your audience. Call us at 904-712-4004 or visit 3ddigital.com to define, design, and deliver exceptional results for your business.
When it comes to my opinion, I love dropping the hammer. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes weekdays on The Frangi Show.
Hammer Time with Hayes, driven by Kia on Atlantic. Check us out at KiaOnAtlantic.com. Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
When the lights were on, the young guns showed that it was time to perform. In the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence would lead Jacksonville on a 9-play, 75-yard drive, capped off by a Trevor Lawrence rushing touchdown, giving the squad a 24-17 lead with 7:44 left in the period. The 5-minute drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Attention small business owners. Did you know you can get 100% tax deduction on a brand new Cadillac?
That's right. Choose your new Cadillac and qualify for a 2025 tax deduction of up to 100% of the purchase price.
There's never been a better time to own a Cadillac and drive your business forward in style.
Visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard in Jacksonville today for incredible deals and expert advice.
Don't miss your chance. Experience the luxury you deserve and the savings you need.
Plus tax tag title, $9.99 admin fee and resistol on approved credit.
This holiday season, Universal Roofing Contracting is making it easy to check roof repairs off your list.
Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through December 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roofing Contracting, protecting your home and building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 125-8484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family's secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do, stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
For over 55 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods has proudly served Jacksonville from the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard. From archery to hunting and fishing, they've got the gear, service, and know-how to get you outdoor ready. Stop by their full-service archery pro shop and check out their wide selection of firearms. And while you're there, sign up for their weekly concealed weapon classes. You can find it all at greenacresporting.com.
Hello, Jacksonville. This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, we know not every injury happens on Sundays. Sometimes it's flag football, weekend yard work, or just playing with your kids. That's why we built a team of fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, experts in everything from knees and shoulders to spine and sports injuries. Whether you're chasing championships or chasing your dog, we've got you. Learn more at osjax.com. That's osjax.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
The Terminix Kickoff Show.
Presented by Campione Law and American Electrical Contracting on 1010XL.
One segment left on the Terminix Kickoff Show. Hayes Carline here with Dylan Denmark. We're getting ready to hand you off to the Publix Tailgate Show with Brian Sexton, JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Austin Lane. But we've got some business to attend to before we do that. Let's go back inside the locker room. Let's hear from one of the heroes of the win in Denver last week, Parker Washington. 6 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown. Parker Washington also received news this week that he is an alternate for the Pro Bowl as a returner. He's done an outstanding job as a punt returner so far this season. So it's been an incredible breakout for Parker Washington in his 3rd year with the Jaguars, and he'll need to stay hot today. This was my interview with Parker Washington from earlier this week.
We're pleased to be joined with Jaguars receiver Parker Washington here on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Man, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Happy holidays. Are you excited for the season?
Come on. It's been a great one. Ready to keep going, keep having some fun, and just keep rolling.
What an amazing effort Sunday in Denver, Parker. What'd you take out of that performance? Well, 150 yards, a touchdown, and some tremendous yards after the catch.
Just left with a lot of confidence, not just in myself, but just in this team and just how far we've come and how we've answered to a lot of opportunities through adversity. And it's just been cool to be a part of, and I know everybody's excited and we're ready to keep rolling.
What have you seen out of Trevor these last 4 games?
Oh, he's just balling, That's what it comes down to, just ballers being ballers. So that's what it's all about. Having some fun with it, just playing with confidence and just trusting the guys around us. And it's just been cool to see, and he's a great leader, and he's going to continue to do a great job.
Congratulations on, getting the Pro Bowl accolade at alternate as a kick returner. How pleased are you of that part of your game, Parker?
Oh, very pleased. It was something I wanted to emphasize during this offseason of just being a better returner. I still have a lot to learn, but just the growth It's been really cool, and I just want to continue to keep building on that and take advantage of those opportunities.
The receiver room has really been productive for a while now. Adding Jacoby, how much has that helped you, and what's it been like being teammates with Jacoby?
Oh man, it's been a blessing. It's been a tremendous vet, great professional. Comes in each day, focus, and just attacks each day like a professional, and just every rep making the most of it. And he's earned everything that he's gotten, and it's exciting to be his teammate. You know, he brought a lot of swag, a lot of fun to this room, and we're just ready to keep growing as a unit and continue to have some fun.
Obviously, you guys did a great job against the Colts a few weeks ago. What are some things that you can take out of the first meeting and apply to this rematch?
You know, just how versatile offense can be. I mean, I say versatile as in just a lot of guys making plays, different players making plays. I feel like that's what's been making us special, because it's somewhat hard to predict what we're going to do when you don't know who's going to make the play. So just having that ability is so cool, and it's just been fun to just see different guys make plays and just bring that energy and juice to this offense.
Did you have a play Sunday that you were most pleased to go back and watch with your teammates?
I would say it was one play. Jacoby helped me pin the edge on one of the pitch plays to Travis, and that was really cool because that just shows you the type of player Jacoby is, how special he is, and he's selfless, and not only when he's getting the ball, but when he's not having the ball, the dude just continues to do his thing, and he encourages guys around him, and that's what makes it special, and I'm glad we have him on the team.
What has Liam Cohen meant to you as a head coach and as an offensive mind?
Just honestly, just helping us believe, just to go out there and just be us, just be special, play with that edge, and just play with confidence. I feel like that's been the best part. He just, as a player, for me, it's like naturally I have that motivation for myself. But when you have a coach that believes in you and tells you just go out there and be you and be special, it makes it that much easier to go out there and perform.
It's always fun asking Brenton about what you're doing. I'll ask you, how cool has it been seeing Brenton have the contributions he's had all year, but particularly coming back from a tough injury?
Man, I'm just knowing the type of guy he is. He's a dude, he's a baller, and he's, like I said, selfless. I mean, ever since we've been in school, dude blocks his tail off. And then so when it's time for him to get the ball, it's time for him to get the ball because he's earned it. He blocks for the guys around him so well, real physical, high motor. It's just been special to just see both of us grow together, and been on the same team since college, so it's so cool and it's just special. And I just want to, hopefully we can continue to be on the same team the rest of our career just to see all that we can accomplish.
Absolutely. I know Jaguar fans would love to see that happen. Parker, thank you so much for your time. Happy holidays and best of luck Sunday.
Appreciate you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to Parker Washington. Leads the team in catches with 45, leads the team in receiving yards with 645 yards, 4 touchdowns receiving, and 2 as a punt returner with a 16.3-yard punt return average. Outstanding stuff from Parker Washington. Let's now go behind enemy lines.
Now let's go behind enemy lines. Behind enemy lines. Brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
ESPN's Michael DeRocco, D-Rock, joining us. You're good for infiltration. You kind of remind me of a James Bond, getting out there and getting the intel from the enemy. I could see you doing that, D-Rock. Good morning. Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Good morning, Hayes. Merry Christmas to you and happy early New Year.
Yes.
Doing pretty well. Sitting here in the press box. It's about 75 stories up, so I'm glad I brought my binoculars.
Yes, it is very high up there. And what do you think in terms of what's the buzz around Indianapolis for this game, particularly in the last 16 hours with the Colts getting eliminated? Do you think it'll be a rowdy crowd, or do you think people will tend to stay away?
The weather is a little nasty today, so it's kind of cloudy. It's going to start raining really bad later today, and apparently the cold is rushing in, awful frigid temperatures, massive winds. So with nothing at stake, you got to kind of wonder, even if they show up, will they be leaving early? And this morning I could kind of get a little bit of a sense of the air went out of the balloon a little bit, you know what I mean? Because this game for the Colts, if the Chargers had won, they still would be alive playoff race-wise. But getting eliminated last night, I mean, you can kind of feel that there's a little bit of a deflated atmosphere here.
Yeah, it makes sense. Again, you can follow D-Rock at ESPN DeRocco. D-Rock, as you look at this Jaguars team, what has stood out to you the most about how they've been able to win 11 games and put themselves in a position to get to 13 wins?
Honestly, the thing that stands out to me is it's more about the regime and more about Liam Cohen, not necessarily in terms of like X's and O's or even the leadership or the motivation stuff. It's this group's willingness to recognize when they made a mistake and to fix it immediately. And we talk about Brian Thomas Jr. and how that wasn't working the way they were using him in the beginning of the season. So after he comes back from the ankle injury, they're like, okay, we're going to use you outside field stretcher. We're not going to ask you to come across the middle of the field because that's not what you do, and there's no sense in us trying to get you to do something you don't do. And then you look at De'Ami Brown, $10 million for De'Ami Brown they're paying him this year. And there are people, there are coaches, there are regimes that would say, you know what, we paid that guy, we got to use him. It's on you to find a way to use him and use him a lot. And what they've done with De'Ami Brown is essentially put him on the bench and said, okay, you're not helping us, so there's no point. We'll use Tim Patrick. You know what I mean? We'll make sure Parker Washington gets a ton of receptions and a ton of catches and is a big part of, what they do. And, those things, reevaluating what they were doing once, Travis Hunter was out and how they wanted to run the offense now, who are they running it through, and then getting Jacoby Myers. So those are the things that sort of kind of stand out to me. No stubbornness. And we all know, I think we've talked about this before, there's no group of people more overconfident or arrogant. I don't think arrogant's the right word, but no group of people that's more overconfident and arrogant than football coaches. And there's also no group of people that is more stubborn maybe than football coaches. So it's pretty impressive that they've been willing to adjust on the fly, and it's worked.
Absolutely. D-Rock, do you think this Trevor Lawrence that we've seen over the last 4 games, does this have staying power? Is this who he is now with Liam Cohen?
I think expecting 10 touchdowns in, like the last 2.5 or in the 2-game stretch is probably a little bit over the top there, but I think what you're seeing is a confident Trevor Lawrence, a guy who knows the offense, a guy who is completely in trust and in lockstep with his receivers right now. So those are the things that carry forward. You know what I mean? It's not like he's just on a hot streak and he's getting lucky and he's thrown some balls that weren't picked and that kind. I mean, he's been very accurate with it, and he's got guys that he completely trusts. So I think, him playing at a high level, maybe not the level he's at the last 2 or 3 weeks, which is ungodly, but consistently playing at a high level in Liam Cohen's offense, I think is here to stay.
D-Rock, what do you have coming up on ESPN.com today that fans can look forward to reading?
Well, we wrote a story. I don't have anything that's up yet this morning, but earlier wrote a story about how this team can really kind of make the playoff push and what they have to do to make the playoff push. And some of the areas that got to get fixed and some of the areas that they need to really kind of ride forward. So that post, I want to say like maybe Thursday or Friday. So people can check that out if they're interested in seeing that.
Okay. And you like the Jags today?
I do, especially after last night's news. And no DeForest Buckner today also is a huge benefit for the Jags. But, as we see, there's some questionable or Anton Harrison illness is now questionable. So they could potentially be without 3 starting offensive linemen. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. D-Rock, thank you so much. Really appreciate you helping us out, and look forward to all your coverage today from Indianapolis.
Thanks, Hayes, man. See you this week.
All right, perfect. D-Rock, one of the best guys in the business. Michael DeRocco, again, follow him at ESPN DeRocco. You guys obviously hear him every week on Jaguars Today, where he does an outstanding job there. Dylan, we've only got about another minute before we hand it off. Who do you like today? Do you like the Jaguars big? How do you think it plays out?
I like them big by about 17 or 20.
Wow.
I think the Jags roll this one. I think they're so high. I said 34-13, maybe not that big, but it's somewhere in that ballpark.
And it could certainly be that. I think that's a good pick. I'm going to go Jaguars comfortable, but maybe not to that margin. I'll say the Jags win by 11. I've got it Jags 31, Colts 20. But it's going to be interesting to see what kind of Colts team they see. Again, Indianapolis eliminated from the playoffs yesterday. That's going to do it for us. The Publix Tailgate Show is up next, so stay tuned. Brian Sexton, JP Shatterick, Mike Dempsey, and Austin Lane will continue to preview the Jaguars' 1 o'clock matchup against the Colts. Thank you to Frank Frangi for joining us. Thank you to Ryan O'Halloran. Thank you to Michael DeRocco. For Dylan Denmark, I am Hayes Carline. Enjoy the game. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.